Once upon a time, in the bustling city of London, there was a young man named Daniel. Daniel had a cozy little flat near the River Thames. From his window, he could see the busy streets, filled with people and the famous black cabs of London. The city was alive with sounds and colors. Daniel loved to walk along the riverbank. He watched the boats sail by and listened to the laughter of families enjoying their day out. The air was often cool, and the sky a tapestry of clouds. Daniel found joy in the small things. He liked the warm tea from the corner shop, the friendly nods from neighbors, and the green parks where he could sit and read. London was not just a place, it was a feeling, a story waiting to be told. He decided to write about his life in London. He wanted to share the beauty of everyday moments. So, he began a blog called Daniel's London. He wrote about the places he visited, the food he tasted, and the people he met. His words were simple, but they painted a clear picture of London. Readers from around the world felt like they were walking beside Daniel, seeing the city through his eyes. They could imagine the misty mornings and the vibrant street markets. Daniel's stories were not complicated. They were about ordinary days that became special because of the way he saw them. And that's what made his blog loved by many. One chilly evening, Daniel decided to explore the British Museum. He had heard tales of ancient artifacts, mummies, and treasures from distant lands. Armed with his notebook and a sense of wonder, Daniel stepped into the grand building. The museum was vast, with marble columns and high ceilings. Daniel wandered through the halls, gazing at the Rosetta Stone, which held secrets of forgotten languages. He marveled at the Egyptian sarcophagi, wondering about the lives they once cradled. In the Greek section, Daniel stood before the Parthenon sculptures. The marble figures seemed frozen in time, telling stories of gods, heroes, and battles. He imagined the artists carving each detail, their chisels dancing across the stone. As he moved to the Asian wing, Daniel encountered a serene Buddha statue. Its eyes held wisdom, and its lotus throne seemed to float. Daniel sat nearby, closing his eyes, trying to absorb the tranquility. Outside, the London rain had begun. Daniel stepped into the museum's courtyard, where a giant chessboard awaited. Visitors played, moving life-sized pieces. Daniel joined in, strategizing like a medieval knight. He lost, but the laughter made up for it. Back home, Daniel brewed a cup of English breakfast tea. His window framed a slice of London, a slice that now included ancient civilizations. He wrote about the museum, the chess game, and the rain-kissed streets. His readers would travel with him, exploring history and playfulness. And so, Daniel continued his chronicles. Each day brought new wonders, a street musician's haunting melody, a hidden bookstore with creaky floors, a rainbow arching over the Thames. His blog became a bridge between London's past and present, a testament to the city's resilience, its art, and its ability to surprise. As the fog settled outside, Daniel leaned back in his chair. The city lights blurred, creating a soft glow. He smiled, knowing that London's stories would never end. And perhaps, just perhaps, someone across the globe would read his words and dream of visiting this enchanting city. One misty morning, Daniel decided to explore the Notting Hill neighborhood. He had heard tales of colorful houses, quirky bookshops, and the famous Portobello Road Market. Armed with his notebook and a sense of adventure, Daniel set off. As he walked along the cobblestone streets, he noticed houses painted in every shade imaginable. Blue, pink, yellow, and even a bright orange one that stood out like a cheerful beacon. Daniel wondered about the people who lived there. Did they wake up to the same misty mornings, sipping tea by their windows? The bookshops were a treasure trove. Daniel stepped into one called The Quill and Scroll. The shelves were stacked with old leather-bound books, their pages yellowed with time. The shopkeeper, a bespectacled man named Mr. Hawthorne, greeted Daniel with a smile. "Lost in a good book?" he asked. Daniel nodded. He loved the smell of old paper, the promise of stories waiting to be discovered. He bought a worn copy of Pride and Prejudice, and tucked it under his arm. Mr. Hawthorne winked. "A classic choice," he said. Next, Daniel wandered into the Portobello Road Market. Stalls spilled over with antiques, vintage clothes, and handmade jewelry. He chatted with a lady selling Victorian brooches. She told him about their history, the secrets they held, the hearts they adorned. As the day wore on, Daniel sat in a cozy cafe. The steam from his cappuccino curled upward. He wrote about the houses, the bookshop, and the market. His readers would travel with him, feeling the mist on their skin and the thrill of discovery. And so, Daniel continued his chronicles. Each day brought new colors, a street artist painting murals, a hidden garden with blooming roses, a rainbow umbrella against the gray sky. His blog became a bridge between London's past, present, and imagination, a testament to the city's ability to surprise. As the fog settled outside, Daniel leaned back in his chair. The city lights blurred, creating a soft glow. He smiled, knowing that London's stories would never end. And perhaps, just perhaps, someone across the globe would read his words and dream of visiting this enchanting city. One sunny afternoon, Daniel decided to explore the south bank of the River Thames. He had heard tales of street performers, food markets, and the iconic London Eye. Armed with his notebook and a sense of anticipation, Daniel set off. As he walked along the river, the London skyline unfolded before him. The Shakespeare's Globe Theatre asterisk stood proudly, its thatched roof a nod to centuries past. Daniel imagined the plays performed here, the laughter, the drama, and the timeless words of the bard. The Tate Modern loomed ahead, a former power station transformed into an art gallery. Daniel wandered through its vast halls, admiring the abstract paintings and sculptures. He sat on a bench, staring at a canvas splashed with vibrant colors. A little girl beside him pointed and said, "Look, Daddy, it's a rainbow." Daniel smiled. Yes, it was a rainbow, a burst of creativity against the gray walls. Next, he visited the Borough Market. The air buzzed with the aroma of freshly baked bread, exotic spices, and sizzling street food. Daniel sampled a chorizo sandwich and savored the flavors. The market was a melting pot, people from all backgrounds sharing their culinary delights. As evening approached, Daniel stood by the Thames River. The London Eye rotated slowly, its glass capsules offering breathtaking views. Daniel had never been on it. Heights made his stomach flutter. But he loved watching others, their faces a mix of awe and exhilaration. Back home, Daniel brewed a cup of chai tea. His window framed a slice of London, a slice that now included art, food, and the river's gentle flow. He wrote about the Globe Theatre, the Tate Modern, and the laughter at Borough Market. His readers would travel with him, feeling the pulse of the city. And so, Daniel continued his chronicles. Each day brought new discoveries: a hidden courtyard with blooming roses, a street musician playing haunting tunes, a rainbow umbrella against the twilight sky. His blog became a bridge between London's past, present, and dreams, a testament to the city's resilience, its flavors, and its ability to inspire. As the fog settled outside, Daniel leaned back in his chair. The city lights blurred, creating a soft glow. He smiled, knowing that London's stories would never end. And perhaps, just perhaps, someone across the globe would read his words and dream of visiting this enchanting city. One bright morning, Daniel decided to explore the Covent Garden area. He had heard tales of street performers, charming cafes, and the historic Royal Opera House. Armed with his notebook and a sense of curiosity, Daniel set off. As he walked through the cobblestone streets, he noticed the flower market. Buckets of colorful blooms spilled onto the pavement. Daniel inhaled the fragrant air, roses, lilies, and daffodils mingling in a sweet symphony. The street performers were out in full force. A juggler balanced flaming torches, drawing a crowd. A mime artist pretended to be trapped in an invisible box, eliciting laughter from passers-by. Daniel clapped along with everyone else, feeling the magic of their art. Next, he stepped into Neil's yard, a hidden courtyard bursting with color. The walls were painted turquoise, yellow, and pink. Daniel sat on a bench, sipping his chai latte from a nearby cafe. He wrote about the courtyard, the sun dappling the ground, the chatter of friends, and the stray cat that sauntered by. As afternoon turned to evening, Daniel visited the Royal Opera House. The grand building stood like a time traveler, a blend of old and new. Daniel imagined the opera singers, their voices soaring, filling the air with emotion. He vowed to attend a performance someday. Back home, Daniel brewed a cup of English breakfast tea. His window framed a slice of London, a slice that now included music, flowers, and hidden corners. He wrote about Covent Garden, Neil's yard, and the Opera House. His readers would travel with him, feeling the rhythm of the city. And so, Daniel continued his chronicles. Each day brought new melodies, a busker playing a haunting tune, a secret garden with ivy-covered walls, a rainbow umbrella against the twilight sky. His blog became a bridge between London's past, present, and dreams, a testament to the city's ability to inspire. As the fog settled outside, Daniel leaned back in his chair. The city lights blurred, creating a soft glow. He smiled, knowing that London's stories would never end. And perhaps, just perhaps, someone across the globe would read his words and dream of visiting this enchanting city. One crisp morning, Daniel decided to explore the Greenwich area. He had heard tales of maritime history, the Royal Observatory, and the Prime Meridian. Armed with his notebook and a sense of wonder, Daniel set off. As he walked through the Greenwich Park, the scent of freshly mown grass filled the air. Families picnicked on the slopes, their laughter blending with the distant chime of the Cutty Sark ship's bell. Daniel sat on a bench, watching the deer graze. They moved gracefully, as if aware of their historical surroundings. The Royal Observatory stood atop a hill. Daniel climbed the steps, eager to straddle the Prime Meridian, the imaginary line that divided the world into east and west. He stood there, 1 foot in each hemisphere, feeling like a time traveler. The view of London below was breathtaking. The river winding through the city, the skyscrapers reaching for the sky. Inside the observatory, Daniel marveled at the Harrison chronometers, precision timekeepers that helped sailors navigate the seas. He imagined the sailors' journeys, their longing for home, their courage in uncharted waters. Next, he visited the National Maritime Museum. Ship models, sea charts, and tales of legendary explorers surrounded him. Daniel read about Captain Cook, who sailed to distant lands, mapping coastlines and discovering new worlds. He wondered about the constellations Cook observed, the same stars that now twinkled above him. As evening approached, Daniel sat by the Thames River. The water flowed toward the sea, carrying stories of trade, adventure, and love. The O2 Arena glowed in the distance, hosting concerts and memories. Daniel wrote about Greenwich, the park, the observatory, and the museum. His readers would travel with him, feeling the pulse of history. And so, Daniel continued his chronicles. Each day brought new horizons, a hidden alley with cobblestones, a street musician playing sea shanties, a rainbow umbrella against the twilight sky. His blog became a bridge between London's past, present, and dreams, a testament to the city's ability to inspire. As the fog settled outside, Daniel leaned back in his chair. The city lights blurred, creating a soft glow. He smiled, knowing that London's stories would never end. And perhaps, just perhaps, someone across the globe would read his words and dream of visiting this enchanting city. One misty evening, Daniel decided to explore the Camden Market. He had heard tales of alternative fashion, street food, and the vibrant music scene. Armed with his notebook and a sense of anticipation, Daniel set off. As he walked through the market stalls, the air buzzed with energy. Punk rock t-shirts hung next to bohemian scarves. Daniel admired the creativity, the way people expressed themselves through their clothes. He bought a pair of retro sunglasses and felt instantly cooler. The food vendors beckoned. Daniel sampled a vegan falafel wrap and savored the mix of flavors, the crunch of lettuce, the tang of tahini. The market was a melting pot, people from all backgrounds sharing their culinary delights. Next, he stepped into a vinyl record shop. The shelves were lined with memories, David Bowie, The Clash, and Amy Winehouse. Daniel flipped through the records, wondering about the stories behind each song. Perhaps he'd write about music next. As night fell, Daniel sat by the Regent's Canal. The water flowed quietly, reflecting the city lights. He listened to a busker playing an acoustic guitar. The chords resonated with something deep inside him, the rhythm of London, the heartbeat of its people. Back home, Daniel brewed a cup of chai tea. His window framed a slice of London, a slice that now included music, fashion, and the canal's gentle flow. He wrote about Camden, the market, the records, and the busker's melody. His readers would travel with him, feeling the pulse of the city. And so, Daniel continued his chronicles. Each day brought new harmonies, a hidden jazz club, a street artist painting murals, a rainbow umbrella against the moonlit sky. His blog became a bridge between London's past, present, and dreams, a testament to the city's ability to inspire. As the fog settled outside, Daniel leaned back in his chair. The city lights blurred, creating a soft glow. He smiled, knowing that London's stories would never end. And perhaps, just perhaps, someone across the globe would read his words and dream of visiting this enchanting city. One misty morning, Daniel decided to explore the Lan Hall Market. He had heard tales of Victorian architecture, gourmet food stalls, and the Harry Potter connection. Armed with his notebook and a sense of wonder, Daniel set off. As he stepped into the market, the glass roof above him revealed intricate ironwork. The cobblestone floor echoed with footsteps. Daniel imagined the traders from centuries ago, their wares displayed in the same archways. The food stalls beckoned. Daniel sampled a steak and ale pie, the flaky crust melting in his mouth. The market was a feast for the senses, artisan cheeses, freshly baked bread, and the aroma of mulled wine. Daniel wondered if he could capture these flavors in his writing. Next, he wandered into Diagon Alley. Well, not quite. But Lan Hall Market served as the filming location for some of the Harry Potter scenes. Daniel stood where witches and wizards once shopped for their magical supplies. He half expected to see a wand shop or a cauldron emporium around the corner. As evening approached, Daniel sat by the Lloyd's building. The modern skyscraper stood next to the historic market, a blend of old and new. Daniel wrote about Lan Hall, the food, the magic, and the clash of eras. His readers would travel with him, feeling the pulse of London's past and present. And so, Daniel continued his chronicles. Each day brought new enchantments, a hidden courtyard with ivy-covered walls, a street musician playing haunting tunes, a rainbow umbrella against the moonlit sky. His blog became a bridge between London's reality and its fictional echoes, a testament to the city's ability to transport us beyond the ordinary. As the fog settled outside, Daniel leaned back in his chair. The city lights blurred, creating a soft glow. He smiled, knowing that London's stories would never end. And perhaps, just perhaps, someone across the globe would read his words and dream of visiting this enchanting city.